Not bad at all. Says I am live. I think I'm live now. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, you guys, to be live. So, like I said, if you want to actually be part of this audience, what you can do is actually go to FoodAlchemy Network on YouTube and you will get to see me, who I am. I am Dr. D, everybody. I want to wish you a great day wherever you are. I hope that you are enjoying your time, no matter what you're doing and how it went. I hope that you got to spend time with the people that you want, your family, your friends, and family and friends. Family can be anybody that you want to be. Family necessarily does not have to be people that are related to you. They can be people that have been in your heart, been supportive in the best of times, even in the worst of times for yourself. It can be someone that you see on a daily basis, or someone you see once a week, or someone that is there you when you need an ear to bend on. So it's all interpreted on you what you see as family. It can be many, many things from to many, many different people. So I just want to say, I hope you got to spend time with the people that you want. I hope you enjoyed your rest. If you needed rest, I hope you got rest because a lot of stuff were closed for a period of time and some things not. Like me, I was in the medical field. So what I did hate is that that's when it seems the holidays or when it was full moon that the hospital would get crazy, crazy busy at times. It's just like, no, uh, not very good, not very healthy. Sorry, I was trying to get something out of my gums. I made a stir fry today, a raw vegan stir fry. So I've taken up a challenge of going raw for a while to see some differences, to just do that because I'm doing some different things with my diet since coming back to the States, which is, you know, um, some contention for me to be here with the food because the food is not necessarily the best, does not come out from the best sources. Have you guys ever thought about the oils? Like they push these oils. Like back in when I was a kid, they were pushing margarine. Uh, they would this commercial would be it would be Mother Nature. You're walking, just picture you're in a garden and you see this woman that has this flower on her head, and you see this tree, and they want her to try this butter. And this butter is supposed to be all of that. And they was like, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature from the regular butter to this margarine, which we know margarine is one molecule from plastic, which is not necessarily food, not food that you should be eating anyway, for your body. So if you imagine what plastic does in the universe, could you imagine what it does in your body? And it's just one molecule, like from plastic. But let me give you something else that's one molecule from another substance that you would never even think about. But most Americans are addicted to it. Most Americans are addicted to it. You ready for this? It's sugar. If you look up the molecular level of cocaine and sugar, one molecule, one, is from from cocaine. Sugar is. So can you imagine? They know sugar is addictive, and the fact that sugar is processed, it's not good either. All depends. Like vegan, oh well, I don't want white sugar because it's processed and they use the bones of an animal. Well, that's not why. It's basically addictive in one molecule from cocaine, which cocaine, as you know, if you take it, can be addictive. So eating sugar is addictive, you know? So let's talk about those things, the oils. Like we grew up, it was Crisco oil in a can, Crisco in a can. It was vegetable oil. Is that good for you? I would like to know. What do you think? Do you think that's good for you? Back in the day, we did. Crisco was used from everything from frying to making biscuits to also making pie crust. Crisco was just used. It was used in place of, in a lieu of tallow, which is beef fat, or pork lard, which is pork fat, which is used and rendered and cleaned and made hard and gives to you again. And also, when I was a kid, they used to save the bacon fat. They used to have these Maxwell House coffee cans, and they used to cook the bacon, and then they used to take the oil and put it in a coffee can, and then put it in the refrigerator, and would use that fat for other things back in the day. And also, since they did fish, they would have one can for fish, and they would use the fish fry, and they would filter the oil so they could do it again. They also had some like frying lines to take away the fish smell from frying the fish, because fish had used to have a smell. And I also learned from that time. Basically, if you're going to pick a fish, what to look for in a fish, looking at the scales, looking at the eyes, looking at the body shape and the structure. Because I didn't go to, people go usually go to a market and the fish is already cut up, scaled, and deboned and all that stuff. I'm from the old school. We went to a fish market, a fish purveyor, and the fish purveyor will let you pick out your fish. Okay. And you would get to see the fish. So then, right there, you could tell, I want this fish, I don't want that fish. Tell him how you want him to cut up the fish, with the heads, without the heads, with the tails, without the tails, and so forth. But also at that time, the fish market, they would have like chicken gizzards, they would have mushroom, French fries. These are things that they would fry in the fryer as you go into these different markets, the fish purveyor. So, and they would take the bones and sell the bones and the tail to other people for them to use to make different things out of it. So there was nothing, what I loved about, everything was used, no matter what you thought. The scales, I don't know if the scales were used. I don't know. That's something I definitely don't know, but I figured everything is used. So same thing with a butcher. The butcher cuts your animal back in the day and make it up in the size. They make porterhouses. They make New York. They make filet mignon. They would make them themselves. They didn't go out and have someone, get it pre-ordered. They did it in-house. And the restaurants would order New York porterhouse or a filet or New York strip, because it was cuts of meat and you knew it where it was. Same thing how they would make ribs. Now, I grew up in a little town called Germantown. Germantown was an Amish community in Philadelphia, where they had this swap mart, or you would go farmers market, if you will. You would go into the farmers market, and back then, which I really loved, is that they would actually make turkey ribs or chicken ribs out of a turkey or ribs. I like the turkey ribs. And the thing is, keeping the turkey moist, they would give you different recipes and things to do. They would make something called scrapple. Um, you guys, a scrapple was made with blue cornmeal or purple cornmeal, and everything from the pig that was left over, they would use and put it in the scrapple. And then when people would get it, it comes like big chunks, and they would take it, slice it up, and eat it. And they fry a little bit of oil. I mean, I'm just saying, back then everything was used. But also back then, my grandmother had a garden. She had an apple tree. We would go strawberry picking. We would go blueberry picking. And these are the things that we would use. And then we knew what the time of the year was by the vegetable, because around September is corn. You're getting ears of corn, and we would peel the corn, take the husk. And let me tell you, the corn silk from the husk was taken and put in a special container because it had medicinal purposes for it, or they would dry it. And then the corn husk, they would take it and wash because they could use it to make other things out of it. So things that we would waste, it had other purposes for it. But also, my great grandmother would also take the food that we did not eat or the leftovers we did not finish and take it and give it to the farmer. But back then, um, she would still get milk delivered. Like I said, we didn't go to the supermarket. I was not raised going to a supermarket. I was raised to go to a vegetable purveyor. I was raised to go to a fish purveyor. Raised to go to a butcher. So if I wanted something made, I could get something made. And they would have kielbasa hanging up. They would have sausages hanging up. Now, unless she was sitting there doing it, my grandmother had a grinder. So she would actually grind the meat. So the different seasonings that you use, it was in the meat. This is my great grandmother, not my grandmother. My grandmother was too my grandmother was too bougie to do some of the stuff. Okay. So this is some of the stuff that she did. She had a meat grinder, and the meat grinder actually you could get, and back in the day was made out of steel, and you would take it and put the grinder part in the freezer or the refrigerator to keep it cold as you're grinding the meat, so the meat stayed cold and it wasn't rancid from grinding the meat in the fat, which was really good. So that's why I think I'm a little bit more old fashioned in a lot of stuff. I know that certain people see me and I act a little bit. I act always older than I was because of my upbringing. My grandmother made cakes from scratch. Getting the flour, getting the eggs, getting the baking powder, all the stuff was done from scratch. It was no such thing as, I mean, there was cake mix, but we didn't buy the cake mix. I didn't grow up eating cake mix boxes like, what is it, Duncan Hines or Pillsbury or something. I didn't grow up eating them. Biscuits were made right there. She would get up, and back then they used a lot of Bisquick. But now today, I don't know if it is the same. I haven't seen Bisquick in a while. Bisquick was the magic mix, and I make my own magic mix that you can use and pull down. Now that I'm gluten free, I basically I'm going to have to start making those magic mix like for my crust, for my cakes, for my cookies, for them after I get off this raw vegan cleanse that I'm doing. Because with that, I'm sorry, do you need something? Okay. So those were, just some of the things that I grew up with that in my mind. That's why I like preserving. That's why I like pickling. That's why I have no problem. Pick it up. No, you can't close the refrigerator. You have to pick it up. But pick it up. You can't do that. I know you're gonna have to leave the refrigerator door open and pick it up. No, because you can't see on the other side. Please. Okay. As you can hear, I'm talking with my child that dropped some stuff on the floor, which is my watermelon. It was on the shelf, and it was on the shelf. It was no problem. It's been on. Never mind. I'm doing this live. Rinse it off, and yep, you're like, all right, that's like, never mind. I won't say how much it is, but yeah, can't be used. I was gonna actually make some dehydrated watermelon, which is really good. I had some melon. I have some pineapple. I'm gonna dehydrate some pineapple, like because I like to make. I don't know if y'all know, like, what is that? Fruit leathers. So I like to do stuff like that to actually have some things. So as you can, like I say, see, I'm being raw. Just like to get everything so it's appropriate, so I can have my snacks. So I make raw vegan snacks too. Make chocolates. I make raw vegan cheesecake. Reason I'm not doing the cheesecake right now is because right now, as you're cleansing, nuts actually tend to actually gain more weight on it than anything. You eat it. You eat it first. So if you pass out, I'll wait 30 minutes. If you pass out, I'll be fine. Put it on the table. I can't do anything right now. So let's see, talking about that. So those are a lot of things. I was like, getting back to what I like. Um, in Florida, in Arizona, I was known as the kombucha queen. I would make kombucha. I would take these scobies, which scobies is these little flat pancakes looking that are probiotics, and they're SCOBY mushrooms. They're called SCOBY mushrooms, and they have bacteria, have yeast, and they grow, and they help your immune system, which is really really wonderful. It helps your immune system grow and continue to help your uh, digestive system. It has a lot of benefits. And the thing about them is they grow, they're live. They're actually live. So it's not like, the food, a lot of food we eat, we think is live, it is dead. But a kombucha is very much alive and has natural probiotics in it. So I would make that. I'm making kefir, as you can look on my Vigo post and see the water kefir, and the second fermentation is raspberry and cranberry mix, and it's really doing really good. So tomorrow I get to take it out and test it and see what it tastes like. It should be really awesome. And then I also get to transfer my ginger. I feed my ginger beer, so I have a ginger bug, a June bug we call it, June bug, which is ginger bug. That's feeding, and that seems to be like a little bit slow on the uptake. So I'm just waiting for that. But my water kefir water kefir is doing great. It's ready to start rock and roll. So tomorrow I will be doing another flavor. What kind of flavors do you guys like? I was thinking of grapefruit would be nice. Orange is another one. Like we always like orange soda. So I was thinking orange soda might be nice. Um, I know in Italy they have pink grapefruit Italian soda, which I love from Italy. So um, so I'm thinking about that. I like to think of different things. I am also thinking of doing a butterfly pea, sweet butterfly pea uh, soda, and it is blue. So it is different, and it would be very much concentrated. So I think this would be really, really cool for people to do. Or, there is this other thing called purple lotus, purple lotus, I think. Um, I wanted to see, how that would go. I want to talk to my friend who actually used to sell it, and I want to see if they still have it, um, and see how it fares. So I'm thinking about just the different flavors that I can make with my kefir. The ginger beer is going to be a strong ginger beer. It like ginger ale. Back in the day, ginger ale was ginger ale, and it was strong to woo. It kicked your watukas, but it was so strong, but it was so good. I've only been doing my ginger beer for I think 3 days now, and you have to feed it every day. That's adding more ginger, adding more sugar, stuff like that. So today has been a beautiful day. I'm just telling you, just me in there in the kitchen cooking. Since I started my raw, I've basically doing the raw chocolates. Excuse me. Doing the raw chocolates actually is the one thing that got me started to actually change. Uh, Taking something that someone likes and making it vegan or raw vegan is like a specialty of mine. Um, so I love making vegan cakes. So then it went from vegan cakes to I make a beautiful Valerian gluten-free brownie. It is just totally amazing. So for me, it's really good. Could you give me something to drink, please? a, a cup, just a cup, just a hot water from the water fountain with a little bit of cold in it. I think I'm coughing a little bit much. So what I think I am going to do is I'm going to take some of this. Can you see it? It is a cold infusion which has white hibiscus, which I love, rose hip, apple pieces, roasted chicory, orange peels, which is really nice. And it comes in a beautiful bag. So for me, it is really good. It also changes your watercolor. There's another one with passion fruit in it. And I love passion fruit. Passion fruit is not for everybody, just like durian is not for everybody. And I love durian. I love durian. I love durian. Durian in Thailand time is around August, September, all the way until November. And I love it. And especially organic durian. So I have this thing about food. I love good food and have been eating good food for a long time. And I do a lot of traveling to different countries to taste a lot of different foods to make things healthy, which I think is very good. So for me, I love the food. So, guys out here, I don't see anybody making any comments. So I hope you guys on YouTube had a great time and enjoyed the video. So I am going to end. See you later, alligator. So I'm ending my show